There we go, guys. Welcome to the Crypto Kingdom and Bitcoin Spike. We're going to delve into the charts a little bit. We have a great, I'm going to say, guys, this show is going to be very informative. Please sit back, relax, and get ready to learn some things. We're going to go over some features that are in Gate, guys. They're not well laid out in any other platform that I know of. So I'm going to go over them in Gate. We're going to be covering the Bitcoin price. We're going to be covering Dogecoin. We're going to be covering, guys, the alts are on fire. They're following up a beautiful trend that was established by Bitcoin and by Ethereum. Ethereum is really, guys, just knocking the lights out. So we're excited about all of those big movers. We want to be the channel to bring it all to you guys. We have been so accurate recently. I want to let you guys know in terms of the altcoins, guys, in the back, the VIPs are killing it, guys. We are focused on some altcoins that are just breaking barriers. You guys are experiencing up to like an 80% recent gain on Dogecoin. Way to go, Doge. I talked with a guy today that bought in Doge at about 3 cents. A different guy. I mean, everyone around here they've just met. They've bought in something, this and that. So it's exciting to see that you guys are having gains on that, on Cardano, guys on VeChain, Luna, across the board. You guys are just killing it on your trades on altcoins. Way to go, guys. The forerunners to these pumps and altcoins, guys, was Bitcoin. So we watch Bitcoin carefully. We watch Ethereum carefully, guys. Whether or not you're in altcoins or you're in Bitcoin or you're in Ethereum, some of you have taken large positions. Shout out to Angel. I know he's on vacation right now. I appreciate the messages very much from the heart. Thank you so much. You guys, wish him a happy vacation. Guys, the Bitcoin and the Ethereum charts are going to tell you that price action is going to tell you what's going to occur in your altcoins. I'm going to tell you they are kind of the precursors, that momentum necessary, and kind of the key indicators you guys look at really profiting. Again, in the back, guys, we're focused on altcoins with a 3 to 4 to 500% gain instead of just maybe an 80, 90, or 100% gain that you've experienced over the last 20 days. That's what we're focused on, guys. Still correlated beautifully with Bitcoin and with Ethereum. So that's part of the VIP perks. I'm glad that you guys are focused on that. I can't wait to see how they work out, guys. Continue to work out. A lot of you have already made some money, so that's very exciting. As we look at this, yesterday we went through a few details on Bitcoin. I want to go over a few more details today. Currently at 45,925. We talked about trend lines. I want to talk about a trend line again. I'm also going to introduce a new tool for you guys to use on the fly as you trade, a GAN box, GANN box. I want you guys to be able to use this whether you're trading Doge, whether you're, guys, whatever you're trading. I want you easily to be able to pull out a Fibonacci in 2 seconds. Bam. Okay, this is a Fibonacci just in 2 seconds, a GAN box on the top left. We talked about the pitchfork yesterday. I want you guys to be the most educated group and the most sophisticated traders that we can imagine, guys. You guys have joined VIP. We want to bring this home, guys. We want it. This year is the year for you guys to learn how to trade, okay? You guys to learn all the technicals. You guys to advance, not just go with the crowd. I talked to a guy who got in at 03 today on Dogecoin. He says, well, it was just kind of luck. I talked to a smart guy. He told me to buy, and that was it. Guys, we want to be able to buy at the right time and sell at the right time, right? So a lot of the work that we're going to do is going to focus on those details. Particularly, we're going to focus on Bitcoin. We'll also focus on Doge. Matic is also hitting it. ADA, Cardano, XRP is going. We're having a lot of fun, guys, a lot of different coins. And again, the ones we're focused on in the back, guys, the VIPs, the VIP perks, you guys know that. We're focused on, instead of 100% gains, 400% gains. Guys, or instead of say 80, maybe 250, we want to maximize our gains, not just through day trading, guys. There are some other correlatives that we're working with that are not options. We do not engage in options. I want to let people know that we're not of that risk, what would you say, profile. I don't agree with the risk profile in terms of inviting a margin call, etc. I never want people to be washed out of a trade, guys. That's not conducive to overall morale. I'll just tell you that. We had a time cycle. I want to let you guys know we had a time cycle event today. I went and put a time cycle through, and it was another tool I'll cover tomorrow. The time cycle, guys, covered 8 out of 10 trades on, I believe it was either the 15 or the 30 minutes on the price action of Bitcoin. I did a time cycle at the beginning of the day. It continued to hit. It was just really exciting to see that. A lot of these tools can let you just really, I'd say, maximize your gains in terms of the overall, I'd say, your hit rate, your success rate. So we're going to get into the things that can compound your returns, guys, because as you look at it, it's not just one more trade. Okay, I got one more trade in, or I got it, finally I got a trade, guys. No, it's that extra percentage that increase with the likelihood of your profitability over time, guys. That's going to compound into, guys, a greater amount of money, into greater gains. So that's what we want to achieve. Absolutely. It's not just the one trade. It's how the next trade, the next positive trade, builds on that previous trade, guys, and the entry and the exit are crucial as we look at that. Just shout out to Julian. Julian has been in the back. Julian started trading when. I want to let you guys know that too. That was one trade. That was one coin I brought up to Julian. He focused on it, and guys, that went up 100%. I think 2x in a period of short days here. A lot of 2x's, 3x's, etc. As you guys look at that. But again, the main focal point, and I think the great instructor is Bitcoin. I'm going to tell you guys why. As you look at it, it has a stigma. It has kind of a pomp to it. You guys understand that? The crowd's a little bit, I'm going to say that, right? What I'll say about Bitcoin that I really like is the price action. I'm going to tell you that because it's very instructional, guys. It does, as you guys have seen today, it's kind of just waited around. It's given us a little time to develop maybe some altcoin strategies, maybe some different, some different things in life, to experience things, to have a different, a little bit more of your life, etc. Some of the other altcoins move so quickly, guys, that unless you find the right ones, it's like you're always chasing, you're always finding, you're always hoping, you always have to stay plugged in. Guys, we want to focus on the best altcoins. We want to focus on, Bitcoin in terms of really, really harnessing our energies, making sure, guys, also it does accommodate a larger position, guys, a larger cash position. I'm going to tell you in terms of liquidity, guys, on Ethereum and Bitcoin, it really is. And I'm mentioning Ethereum because it's done so well. I'm really excited for you guys. A lot of our VIPs have traded Ethereum and it's just done extremely well. It's almost in a super cycle. I'm going to say almost in a super cycle. We looked at some trend dynamics today and it's just really, really close, guys, in terms of the pattern formation. Now, in terms of Bitcoin, let's delve into, we just covered the GAN box. I want to cover that on the macro and the micro. Again, the GAN box is on the left. What's that going to give you guys? It's going to give you pricing targets in literally 2 seconds. Bam. Okay, and it's going to give it well laid out in a way that you can definitely formulate, etc. Multiple hits here right on in 2 seconds. Is that all for Bitcoin? That was all for Bitcoin. Literally, if you wanted to apply that and give someone an answer in 2 seconds, that was the hit, just at 30,000. Okay, and the methodology, I want to let you guys know, the methodology is we apply Fibonacci's. We're going to want to eliminate, if we look at a prior channel here, look at the prior channel from previous, guys, any previous, I'm going to say the initiation of a trend is going to begin once the prior channel is eliminated. Okay, so that's going to be the initiation, the technical initiation of the new trend. So we're going to focus on that when you apply your GANs, guys, your GAN boxes, your GAN boxes. If we were to look, let's say, in the hourly, and guys, I think this is really critical because as you move on the fly, particularly if you have multiple holdings and you're trying to trade more than one thing, I definitely want you guys plugged in. Let's say, the prior trend breakout would be right here for this move, in line with there. Okay, the prior trend, we want a GAN box. We're going to go to the high. We're going to draw down right to here, and bam, in 2 seconds, we have a really, really nice looking set of Fibonacci's, guys. Look at that, just very, very well laid out, and you'll be able to, guys, use this throughout the entirety of your trading. I want you guys to practice with that a little bit because it will, guys, it just increases the speed with which you're able to do things. Anything we can do like that, I definitely want to bring it to your attention. The pitchforks, you guys got on those last night. I was like, wow, they're already involved in those and they're doing so well with them. So I was really happy to see that. Now, guys, I've done one thing that I also want to point out today on Bitcoin. I want to talk about the overall trend dynamic, okay, that we're looking at right now. I think it's extremely positive. We talked about the overall trend yesterday and why not. And I have a kind of a trick up my sleeve. It's not really up my sleeve. It's on every platform, but we never use it. I want to go through and I want to draw out a trend line like this. Okay, I want to do this like this. And guys, anytime you draw a trend line, you can always, in terms of this, a pitchfork is going to give you the trend line. You always have the option here of extending this line to the left to completely encapsulate the price action on the top side. And guys, as we do this, I've expanded this today. I want to show you guys an option as you look at things. And now on the entirety of this, this looks like, well, that's quite a trend. Guys, this is the trend. This is the trend of Bitcoin right now. As we were to look at this, guys, this is the current trend of Bitcoin. Okay, so there are different levels, the high and the low. There are areas that we would like to maintain and areas we would like to get back up into above 55,000. Okay, so this is just an expression as we're looking at a continuation pattern. And the reason I'm doing this, guys, is because we did enter into, and I'm going to say we entered into it, as you guys know, we entered into a continuation pattern, which was a falling wedge. This dramatic move to the upside established that falling wedge, the complete perimeter parameters that we needed for the falling wedge, guys. So that is a continuation pattern. That is indicative of the continuation of a bullish trend. Okay, so a continuation pattern by the books. We're going to say, yes, we're still in the trend. So today I wanted to define the entirety of the trend. The way that I went about that, let me just rewind to show you guys exactly, I'd like to say, ideally, in a bullish, with a very bullish sentiment going, guys. Now we are seeing news. I want to talk about something today. Gensler, SEC Chairman Gensler, you guys know as a former advisor to the President of the United States. Okay, you guys know Gensler, SEC Chairman, today stated he wanted to regulate anything DeFi. He wanted to regulate things. He talked about having. I won't get into all the details, but some different, kind of a little bit more direct that we saw today. I thought that was interesting, guys. I paid a little attention to that. Regulating, he was, I think he was very concerned about having securities. Now, certainly securities on a token exchange or any DeFi with lending. I think there's a little bit of, now the SEC chairman, you guys know there's a lot of congressional issues that go on with that, et cetera, bills passing, et cetera. But that came from kind of the horse's mouth there. So, I'm sure they're working very hard on trying to promote. I will state this, Senator Ted Cruz, I saw that promoting, guys, kind of a level of diligence, as we would see, in terms of not over-regulating crypto when they don't even understand it, really calling out all of Congress. I saw that. I wanted to bring that to your attention. I know, Josh, I appreciate you retweeting that, because that's big news, guys. Senator Cruz from Texas pushing to protect you guys, talking about protecting you guys. Guys, that's real news. That's real stuff as we look at it. That's I just wanted to point out Gensler, definitely SEC chairman's in the news today, as well as Senator Cruz. It's nice to see men that are in a position to make a difference for you. I'm going to say those guys are trying to make a difference for you, that they understand the framework of the rules and the laws that they're promulgating, guys. It's very important. So those guys are, I'm going to say Cruz and some other guys are really fighting for you. I take that to heart. I really appreciate that, Senator Ted Cruz, et cetera. All of the factions that are working there. I really appreciate that. It's very nice to see. And I'll just leave that at that. Now, as we look at, guys, this micro trend, I want to talk about the expansion of the trend on the micro as opposed to the macro, which we just covered. We did talk about yesterday, we talked about the usage of as we look at this, guys, the usage of a pitchfork. I've expanded the pitchfork today just so that you guys know, these are trading lanes. You guys know, essentially, a trading range would probably be a little bit more accurate to describe this as, but let's say trading range would be very nice in terms of the trading range. What I would feel very comfortable still saying that we are still within a range. So as you look at the macro range, it's going to provide some more variability. In the micro, it looks like we are still set up very well. Now, I have expanded this. I wanted to let you guys know at any point in time, you can go into your tool and you can click, guys, you can click all the way down here. I mean, you can even expand it beyond that. Now you get into kind of a red zone. You see kind of the red zone? Correct, guys. Like, you never want to be towards the top, etc., on something that looks like it may fold on you with the Fibonacci's. The red zone is going to be indicative, and I left that off. But guys, it's really, you may be a little bit more, I'd say, a conservative or aggressive. The more aggressive or conservative that you are, guys, you'll be able to just click these on or off. Okay, so if you want to play more conservatively and say, no, I want to really remain within this channel, you can even say there, guys, you can even, bring it into this and state, no, we've broken out. Now, you would have missed out on that. So you see, if you were playing too conservatively, it would not have really expressed the fullness of the channel. So, guys, while we have some, real good news developing, I think there's another NASDAQ company today that came out and said they were buying Bitcoin. Very exciting in terms of that, guys. I would expect more of that. I'm going to expect more of that personally, that we would see additional companies that are putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets. Deutsche Bank today, this is going to be kind of a news eventful day, but Deutsche Bank today also came out and said that they were fearful of kind of a dreadful state of inflation, guys, a real breaking point in terms of inflation. I think that's crucial, guys, that you have a major bank like Deutsche Bank that has come out and said that, yes, it's not just us, us talking, et cetera, printing too much money. No, it's Deutsche Bank now that has come out and stated that there is a problem looming, kind of an imminent, dire problem with inflation. Hello, that's a big deal, guys, as we potentially see institutions reframing things and adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. I think it's going to add a tremendous value potential to your current holdings and your future holdings as you make decisions to enter or not. Now, in terms of this, guys, what I would do in terms of this trend, and I said it would update it, but we did update on the macro. If you guys need to do that, if you just tuned in, hit the like button so I know you've just shown up, and we will go through. Let's go through how to expand this and what I would look at as kind of a value zone. I went through that a little bit in the back today. I want to make sure I cover that for you guys. What I would say, there's two ways to interpret. Let's do this. There's two ways to interpret this red zone, guys, in terms of the trading range. Okay, the current price is 46,000. Very, very nice. We've held very well, guys. You guys understand that we've held very well, and it looks like it's very close. I'd love to establish an ascending triangle up top. In terms of, I'd say the outer perimeter of this, guys, and we can talk about all different types if we want to. We've gone through, we've hit our targets. I don't want to say it's just old hat, but in terms of the Fibonacci's on the downside, the extensions on the upside, we're there. So I wanted to bring you some different information. One thing I would call your attention to are these parameters on the lower end, guys. These parameters, while they may appear to be a breakout zone, may actually represent a value zone. Okay, as we are in a trend, I want to bring up the possibility as you look to sell high or buy low or add to your position when we are lower, guys. Instead of looking at them as just a cut loose point, I want to bring up the idea and the notion that they may represent an opportunity to buy. So as people are looking to get in, as people may ask you that question, not financial advice, I'm sure, but as you look at that, guys, you may be able to draw a simple trend line, do some analytics, and represent to them that yes, we are in a trend right now. We're breaking out of a bullish pattern. Clearly, guys, the descending wedge, that's just the truth. And as we look at this, these may represent buying opportunities for them. So that's very crucial, guys, as we talk about the prices with individuals or yourself, as you make decisions. And as you look at the pricing action, guys, we'll get away from this trend for a moment and we'll get back to the GAN box. I just want to bring it up briefly, guys. It's a great tool for you to immediately use. And I know a lot of you take the technicals to heart. I just know you do. So as we look at this, we'll be able to use the old rule, guys, this rule that is just steadfast, guys. It really doesn't let us down. It's a nice rule. As we look at this, let me move this out of the way here. And I want to just bring you more technicals, guys. In the back, we have the best technicals ongoing of any group. I know we do. I know we have the best traders, and we're focused on the best altcoins. Good gosh, we are excited about those, guys, without a doubt. Congrats to all of you who are holders of Dogecoin, ADA, everything, guys, from VeChain to Luna. You guys are doing great. I'm excited to see you doing so well. Win was a 100%. A lot of 2X's, 3X's just floating around. It's almost, you have to try, but you have to almost try to avoid one at this point. So as we focus on really refining our trade skills, guys, and the ability to maximize our profits, one of the tools I want to use today is the GAN box. I want to just point this out on the micro, how this can be of benefit immediately. Once you identify the breakout of a previous, I'd say a previous channel, etc., like this would be, definitely a downward channel that we broke out of. We're hoping for a measured move to the upside, just to let you guys know. We're hoping for a measured move, okay, to the upside, which is technically indicated on Bitcoin. If we look at this, guys, we're hoping for a completion of this move in line to the, just very simply put, in line to the 53,189, the 53,189, just above that, guys. 53,408 would be indicated. We can look exactly what that figure is lately and measure that precisely, but that's exactly, guys, the type of measured move that we would see in a textbook, and we would hope to be able to complete it. This rounding formation, it has our attention enough to do kind of a spread spectrum in terms of the pitchfork, etc., in terms of the trading lane, but it's nothing of severe concern yet. I'll say that. And guys, again, a breakdown could just represent a great opportunity to buy. It's that easy. You guys know that. As we look at the GAN box, guys, we can do an interim box, guys, here just to come up with Fibonacci targets really, really easily, just to come up with Fibonacci targets. As we look at this, we're going to draw it from the top down. And guys, I want you to be fluid with this, because in 2 seconds, you can come up with pricing targets, etc. It will give you essentially some of the hit points that you can just go through. You can Alt-H straight down, and bam, on your right-hand side, you're going to have targets, okay? So I just want you guys to be real fluid with that, in terms of if you have to do something very quickly, if you're working with your Fibonacci's, if you prefer something with kind of a time element as well. The GAN box is something which has kind of a time element to it, which I think that you'll, as you explore GAN boxes, you get to the kind of the inner workings of things, you'll start to see them. We'll go through some more details on that, but it's just another mechanism for you to use instead of your standard Fibonacci's. You guys know we have the retracements as well. That's really easy, but I just want you guys to develop as traders. I just do. It's really exciting for me when you guys are developing in the back, and I see everybody using what we did yesterday in yesterday's stream. So excited about that. That's so cool. Like brand new, I mean newcomers. Elcirus, very excited. Elcirus was, he had a phenomenal, I think, like a 47,000% gain or something on Sheeb, and he's doing pitchforks in the first day. I was like, hey, he came up with a trend on Sheeb. I was so happy to see that. As you see this, guys, this is a very standard pitchfork that we would say, yes, we are still comfortably within the trend right now with Bitcoin. Just to put everyone's mind at complete ease, guys, this is, I think, a very well drawn one with an upper threshold and a lower threshold here. You can adjust these to become more conservative or more aggressive, but I'm still very comfortable. Yes, I still believe that we may have a value opportunity in this area. The fallback position is always that deeper level of reserve capital, guys, the deeper level of reserve capital that we would definitely just, always look forward to the opportunity to acquire more. I'm going to tell you guys, if you want to see a traditional, and I don't think it's that we're tired of seeing retracements, guys, but we've seen thousands of them, hundreds of thousands of them. So if we can come up with the GAN box, something else different to kind of present something that maybe we can use in a few different aspects other than just a standard retracement. But you guys know these would be key pickup areas. We are ready to drive into these if we get a chance, guys. Definitely drive into them, especially I'm going to say this top level. As we look at that top level, we're looking at that top level, the 23.6 is just, hey, can we get there? If we could, it'd be beautiful. Now, in between that top level, if you guys look at a pickup zone, remember the strategy here. We're going to be looking at the breakout as essentially the formulation area, or essentially this is the key figure that we would even do a standard Fibonacci on, guys, Fibonacci retracement. And if we do this up to the top, you can see that we already did come in contact with, and this is the good news I have for tonight. If we do this Fibonacci, we've already come in contact with, and we should kind of celebrate this news, with this 23.6. We have powered above, guys, the previous high. We've set a higher high and a higher low. That's the kind of thing that I like to see after we remain kind of bullish within a trend pattern in terms of yesterday's dialogue. Some people are going, I think, bearish, and I hope those people are kind of going away, right? I'm just going to tell you, I hope they're going away because the trend has been the trend. And as we look at the monthly, as we look at the weekly, guys, on the monthly, now we're on kind of the monthly to the weekly, we're just looking at green candles across the board. And I just, I'm very glad that we were able to formulate the technicals in line with an early take on this, guys, down to the bottom, guys, literally calling this first little, you guys, sub 30,000. We got it in the back. So we're very excited that we were able to experience this, that I was public with you guys saying I think it's a good time to buy Bitcoin. The people around me know you guys have been making money. I'm excited about that. That's the best way to be, guys. So congratulations on that. And in terms of the kind of the compound multiples, in terms of the correlatives that we're looking at, Bitcoin up 50%, the 250% is very nice in the back. The correlatives that we're looking at, hoping to, let's say experience some more of that on the upside. We're going to incorporate those altcoins, etc., and hope to experience those on the upside. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I really hope you join VIP. And if you're not paying attention in the back, guys, you need to pay attention. Make sure you watch those special videos that we cut in the community tab. It's all about turning the 50% into 250%, guys. It's the 80% on Ethereum into 450%. So, guys, if it weren't happening, if it weren't empirical data and literally laid on the floor, guys, and here's the chart, here's what's going on. It's 450% instead of 80%. Yeah, guys, that's what's going on. So pay attention to that. I think it's really going to outpace a lot of the other altcoins, guys. I don't know of another altcoin right now, aside from maybe some of the startups that we're looking at, some of the new listings that are definitely a part of I'd say the regimen as well, but it's just nice to be able to focus on Bitcoin. It's nice to be able to focus on Ethereum. You guys know we focus on Dogecoin too, we ultimately do. Cardano is also one that we focus on. It has a very, very bullish chart, guys. And I brought that up to everyone's attention. I cut a special video on Cardano just saying it has expressed an unbelievable amount of kind of, I'd say remaining strength from its uptrend. I did do that. And I don't know who leaked that out, but someone got my technicals, and then some other station with like 50,000 people took my TA. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Someone stole it from the back rooms. So anyway, that happened. I will never forget that, but that's okay. There was a big station. I was glad that he was able to, I guess, give that out to me. But I was like, I just hope he knows what he's doing. It went down from the time he published that information. I'm like, did you tell him about retracements? Did you tell him about doubling or tripling down, right? We always want to have that strategy. going forward in terms of how we're able to put things together. So as we look at this trend, guys, we're in comfortable shape. I'm going to say that we have set a higher high and a higher low. Okay, so as you know, if we can keep that up, guys, you know, I'm excited about the price action here. Again, I don't want to say I'm more excited, but I always would like to get value if I can get a better price, guys, and if we can determine those pricing, guys, if we can, which clearly we do continually, if we can express, guys, clearly what are the pricing targets, where should we buy it, at what price, if we can do that, and we always can, guys, why wouldn't we, right, be a little excited about it? So I don't want it to go down necessarily at all, but I always want to give you guys value. So if we can, you know, it keeps going up, I guess, well, you're making money. Either we get value or you're making money. So that's exciting. So as we looked at this, just remember, in terms of the threshold move, as we look at the threshold move, what we can say is the following. We can always expand our trend, okay? We can always expand our trend a bit there with the mechanisms, guys, just so you understand. We kind of have some value areas, you know, value in terms of making profit, value in terms of entry. So if you guys are looking at, you know, potential acquisitions, this would be a zone. You can do this very easily on Gate. Gate has the best technicals, guys. I wouldn't say that if it weren't true. It is honestly, I have used so many platforms, guys, from Interactive Brokers to E-Trade. I mean, just, you know, etc. I have used so many platforms. I love, it's like I have a pair of micro tweezers with I literally said that today, and I think it's so accurate with the pricing action. It's just so solid, and it just gets to the point where it's difficult to miss. It's also not a very emotional platform. I want to let you guys know as you trade, a lot of times on TradingView, you'll see spikes, you'll see, you know, the pricing action bend around and loop. Guys, this is a much more friendly platform in terms of your emotions that you get involved in. Should I hit the button? Should I not? This is a much more stable environment, I feel like, for our traders, and for me overall. I wouldn't recommend it otherwise. So not financial advice, but just in terms of your emotional, you know, it can be very emotional to be involved in the market. So as we look at this, guys, I think this is maybe a good, 46,021. We went over the macro trend, guys, as well, and I'll point that out one more time. In terms of drawing this macro trend, let's go ahead and draw one more pitchfork just so you guys can take a look at this. And let's just draw this up to this area, and I'll probably drop this down just a touch. Okay, I may drop this down to this area. It won't make much of a difference. But guys, as we look at the central lanes here, I'm just going to point this out. As we look at the central lanes, and now it's just going to give you an idea of where we've come from. Okay, where we've come from is guys, we are right in kind of the heart. What we're trying to do is accomplish back up into the middle of this trend. And I can erase these because it does get a lot on the screen, but I do want you to know these are the filters, guys. You can always use these filters in terms of value zones. Okay, you can draw your fibs around them and just understand. Do you see the value zones kind of disappear? Do you see things kind of constrict around kind of this central area in here, this line that we're trying to recover in? Yes, I'd like to see us recover up into that area around the 52 to 55 area. I think that would be such a solid move, and I think at that point, guys, it would just be, I'm going to say it's not over, but guys, I'm going to say it's going to be close to game over in terms of, you know, really high prices, both in terms of Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're definitely looking at Ethereum in the back. I want to be honest about that, guys. And a lot of people are trading it. It's been nice. We love the application of Bitcoin. We also love that Ethereum has come out, Ethereum 2.0. We're excited about this space. SEC Chairman Gensler and company, etc., wanting to regulate and kind of harness into things. I just want you guys to know that may happen for a while. So let's just stay positive in the space. And I'm positive that you guys are making good profits. As we look at the future, let's say 24 hours of Bitcoin, I will state this, guys, we're still in an uptrend. I would like, okay, and I said a target, you know, this was funny. This is just funny. Yesterday I said what? Yesterday I drew a circle around it, right? You guys remember that? I did. Yesterday during the deal, I said, look, now this is, I didn't really mean it like this, you know, but I said this is a target. Well, let me say this, okay? All it did was stay still, right? Well, okay, that's a good shoot, right? It literally just framed itself, okay? So I said this is a target, right? Well, we definitely it has maintained itself since that time. So why don't I take this off so we get it out of our scope? Very nice. We can focus. We got that down. It's a target for a few reasons. I want it to move from this area, guys. That's what I intended. Is I anticipated moving from this area. You guys know that's one of the stabilizing factors of Bitcoin. It gives us some time. Maybe I should be careful when I draw a target around something like this and say that's our target, because it really didn't move. So now let's try to see if we can kind of get it to break loose a little bit. How about that? Let's see if we can get it to kind of break loose about it. One thing I talked about were like Gann boxes, right? We talked about Gann boxes. We can also deal with Fibonacci's. As I deal with this, guys, you're going to have some pricing targets right here, okay, right here at the, let's talk about this, at the 44,643 thereabouts, okay? Yeah, you're going to have some pricing targets there, and really I'm going to want to push this up now. This is going to become a little bit more interesting because we're setting higher highs. So, it's going to be if we do, you're going to need to adjust your pricing targets in terms of what you may be able to hit, okay, and doubling, tripling down, having more exposure in terms of cash if we are to go through just kind of a naturally cyclical event. I'm going to bring up one thing I brought up in the back. I think is very instrumental in terms of your understanding of what we may go through here. Now let's talk about this. I'll put this as a green. Let's put this as something that's green so you guys can understand that it's still worked out positively. I don't want you to think that this is a bearish discussion at all. Yesterday I pointed out if we were to go through something like this, again, this was kind of a triangulation which occurred, right? Just a natural, a natural part of the process, guys. If we were to go through another kind of move like this, up in this area and then traject to the upside, or guys have its trading phenomenon go on, would you be prepared? I just want to bring that up. All the guys, at all times I'm going to bring up the fact we just experienced this. Technical analysis is about applying the previous pricing behavior. So if we apply the previous pricing behavior to this area, are you prepared? Okay, how would you prepare if you choose to trade it? Guys, if you want to book positive trades on Bitcoin, well, I want to make sure that this channel prepares you for that as well as any other channel could. And guys, we had multiple trades today, just kicking it in the back. We had a good time. Slammed 3 in a row. It was fun. We had a good time. Those are kind of, flash trade money. In addition, guys, there are bigger, I'd say bigger positions that are carried forth. But we do enjoy trading quite a bit, and it can be profitable, guys. Definitely as these larger moves are effectuated, as they're accomplished. So we would draw this box, essentially within this breakout zone, and we can kind of essentially, why don't we draw this triangulation right in line so that it clearly expresses this previous breakout zone. We know the bottom line would be something, and we could even do this if we need to, not a problem. If we wanted to establish that as a, we'd have a difference here. We could even, I'd say this is fine. Why don't we go with this? Why don't we go with this triangulation here, because that was a bullish continuation pattern. We'll stick with that. We could express this also as a bull flag. Okay, so you're going to have your pick here, guys. You could have had a bull flag, or you could have had, I'd say you had, what I would say, because you have the hitch right here, what I would say, because you have that hitch right there, I'm going to go ahead and go with the bull flag. How about that, guys? Clearly you do have and you see how a descending wedge can turn into a bull flag. Now, this is going to be very important. If you've stayed with us this long or you've just shown up, please pay attention to this. This is a big point right here. Maybe one of the most critical things that you'll hear today in the entirety of the space, I think. Guys, this descending wedge pushed and turned into what, guys? It turned into a bull flag. Do you see that with the hitch right here? It did. It came into conformance with what we would be able to establish as a downward sloping channel that it decided to break out of. That's the definition of a bull flag, guys. If we look on the daily, the move up was just considerably well done in terms of the overall move up. It's just very smooth on the daily. That's what we need, some nice velocity and a downward sloping channel, right? Okay, so we have indicated a bull flag. Wait until I apply this. In fact, I can do that now if you'd like to. I'm going to apply this to the macro and show you exactly how this is played out on the macro and exactly where we are right now. It's a critical point, guys. It's a really beautiful point. So let's look at that in 1 second. In terms of the repeat of kind of this triangulation pattern, I want you guys just to be prepared for a move like this. If we were to get into some sort of a move like this, I just want to make sure that people are prepared for it. Okay, it's a natural consolidation movement, and while we're still setting new highs, guys, I just say if there's any kind of a capitulation into this area, into these target areas that we've already defined on the right, just hitting Alt H, etc. You guys know how to do your Fibonacci's. You know how to do your retracements. But guys, these would represent value areas. You guys know how crucial it is to get in at a good price. Also to execute your trades. I want you guys to be facilitated in terms of the strategy here. Not that we would do this, but guys, that we did just do it. Okay, not that it was the full, guys, it wasn't the full, the full nature of that. So maybe that's a little bit overly expressed, and in fact that begins to give it somewhat of it's not a pennant, it's still a falling wedge, but it kind of gives it that dynamic, right? And again, that falling wedge, I want to just express this again, worked into a bullish channel, guys, a downward sloping channel. Any downward sloping channel is going to be bullish in nature. You guys know that anytime you see one. So you guys understand right now we're in the potential for a value zone. Okay, if we can get value, we want it all the time, guys. You know that. So in terms of that, that's exciting. I want to apply what we just went through on the micro to the macro. Let's take a look at this, guys, because I really believe what has occurred here is that we have the potential, and this is clearly expressed. You guys can take a look at the Ethereum chart, and the Ethereum chart is like, yep, it's done exactly that, exactly what I'm going to talk about right now. As we look at this falling wedge on the micro, okay, or on the micro that we just saw. Yes, clearly. Let's zoom back in so you guys can take a look at that. You see that falling wedge on the micro? You guys take a look at that. Correct. Okay, we have the line of support, the line of resistance along the top, which is broken out of and moved to the upside. We also have it, guys. It floated into very clearly, I'd say, a bullish flag, because we do have that hitch right there. I'll zoom into that. We have that hitch right there, which we're able to say, well, now now it did hitch into a bullish flag. The reason I'm bringing this up is for the following reason. Let's go ahead and zoom back out to the macro. I want you guys to take a look at this. Currently on Ethereum, and I want to do a comparative, currently on Ethereum, it's really well expressed that as its own wedge has pushed up, it is now in the formation of a bull flag. Okay, so I do want to bring that up because there's also a bit of variability along the bottom of this line, and while we push during this, we do have some variability. I'd say a little bit of a benefit in this area as opposed to Ethereum, but it can be a situation where as we push up from this, we're going to get into some sort of a channel formation. I want you guys to be prepared for that. Okay, it may also be something that once we establish it, we may get another hitch here, just like we did on the micro, and we may move to the upside. If you guys will just for purposes of completeness, please look at the Ethereum chart. You'll see it perfect. I mean, it's really astounding the look right now that it has in terms of the bull flag formation that it's currently, or at least the downward sloping channel on the macro, guys. On the macro, we were discussing that today. Shout out to Jay Suave. Hey Jay, what's up, brother? Nice to have you around. It's just a pleasure to be around you and do TA with you. You're one of the best, brother. We have a lot of great guys in the back. Just pleased to have all of you guys. I can go through all the names right now, but you guys are doing a great job. So as we look at this, guys, we're in continuation pattern. We're moving to the upside. We're still within the zone in terms of the trend, the uptrend. We do have value opportunities. This is just standard. This is our MO, modus operandi, guys. If we can get value, we want it. If we can't, well, we'll write it, okay? Or we could add to it if and when we break out of another significant pattern. You guys know that's just TA. That's not financial advice. That's just TA. Technical analysis. So as we look at that, guys, just enjoy your altcoins. Do plug into VIP in the back, guys, etc. In the community tab, there are some altcoins. I want to say they are altcoins. They're tied in correlatively with Bitcoin and Ethereum, guys. I literally think it has the potential to just dismiss the residual of your search for gains in altcoins. I'm just going to say that as a matter of fact, guys, has that potential. I'm very excited that you guys have focused on that and we're able to bring that to you. It's just I'm really looking forward to phenomenal gains. And it's nice to focus, guys. Just stay focused on what you're invested in. Stay focused on, and if you want diversification, that's a beautiful thing. That's nice. I want to maximize my profits and yours as well. But as we look at some people who try and trade a host of different coins, some people will try and trade, 10 or 20 or 50, however many, coins, and keep up with, even 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. As you get into this, guys, it's really nice to be focused on kind of your coin of choice. For us in the back, it's going to be right now, it's going to be Bitcoin, it's going to be Ethereum, it's also going to be Dogecoin, guys. We also have fans of Cardano, fans of, Basic Attention Token, HNT, etc. in the back. But the big players, the ones that are really moving, that are offering us the opportunity to really capitalize in excess of the market, and I mean excess of, I'd say, I'd like to say like 95% of the market in terms of their market returns. What we want to achieve, guys, are going to be those correlatives on Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. They're just really, really strong. I'm really excited for VIP, for all you guys to be able to experience those, and we just want to see them fly. In addition, we want to see the underlying tokens definitely fly. I think a lot of people have holdings and have had for a while, so it's nice to see that. You can't really redo and create a correlative on something maybe you've had like Angel since $7.79. I'm not sure the correlative really helps him, right? He's had an exponential return with each and every move. That's one of the benefits of getting into a coin at a great price. You just think every move for him is an exponential move that we're trying to recreate, able to recreate to an extent, which is something we haven't talked about. We're able to recreate having purchased it at a lower price with these correlatives that have a multiplicity of returns. Isn't that nice, guys? So, well, I only got in, let's say I only got in Bitcoin at 31,000. Well, if you're able to achieve, say, at 30,000, 4x from that point, guys, what does that put your cost basis as? Right? Maybe is it a quarter? We'd have to do the exact mathematics on it. We'll look at I'll look at the mathematics on that. I don't want to do a reverse kind of inductive reasoning on the fly here and be incorrect. To be completely honest with you. So as we look at that though, if we achieved a 2x, did we get it at 50% less? I mean, as you look at that, it at least imputes a lower price. So that's very nice, guys. That's very, very nice. We'll continue to look at that, but that's one of the things. Can you imagine if someone just were to wake up and say, you know what, I have an idea. Instead of Bitcoin at 30,000, how about I'm going to give it to you at 15,000? 15,000. Well, you're going to give it to me for 15,000 today? That'd be fantastic, huh? I mean, just think of the dynamics with the correlatives and the exponential returns. Think about them. If instead of 50%, instead of the 55% that we just experienced, guys, instead of the 55, if you could have gotten 250%, guys, you just have to ask yourself, okay, then we'll have to deduct back. We'll have to deduce back exactly. It's equationary. I don't want to get into equations online, guys. But as we look at that, guys, you're going to say, oh, that would have been the equivalent of me getting it at, okay, if it would have been 250%, about, I don't want to get down into this. What about 15? About 15? Literally, you could have just bought it in and around, let's say 18. It's going to be low. I'm ballparking around 15 in my mind. Okay, I don't want to do the math on just live. I don't want to do it just live. But it's going to be ballpark around 15,000. 14.9. I'm gonna guesstimate a little bit lower just so you guys understand the dynamics in play, guys. If we do let's do 13.6. 13.6. There you go. Okay. Now the equivalent, guys. I'm gonna just tell you the equivalent of the correlatives that we just brought to you, understand this, would have been the equivalent of someone saying, well, why don't we give you Bitcoin and sell Bitcoin to you at 13.9? Hello, guys, on the correlatives, do the mathematics on the 250% return that what I brought you guys in the back. Do the correlatives, do the mathematics on those. Look at the overall return of 250% on this, and instead of the 50%, you got 250%. I didn't want to get equationary, but I got close, guys. Look at the price of 13,000 and extrapolate 13,000 into the current price of 46,059. If someone could tell you, well, you know what, instead of 30,000, we're going to give you Bitcoin, we're going to sell you Bitcoin at 13,002. Guys, that would be the equivalent given the measured measured returns, that 250% on Bitcoin. Ethereum would have been, I believe it would have been even lower in terms of the scale because it achieved a higher return. That's impressive, guys, because Ethereum achieved 80% gain in the last 22 days or so, and it did, and it had like a 450% return on the correlative. So this is a big deal, guys. As we look at this, can you imagine? I mean, we'll extrapolate right now, but understand those correlatives are like buying at a lower price essentially. Now there's volatility concerns. Always being ready to double and triple down, as you guys tell me. That's just very, very important. Ambrosio in the house. Nice to. Let me see what we have. Let's see what we have in terms of VIP Jag in the house. Nice to see you. Very, very nice to see you. We have some different individuals. Really excited about probably these correlatives in the altcoin. You have to understand, guys, that's a big deal, right? I mean, you do the math. You guys who are here, you're like, wow, yeah, because it would be the equivalent of you buying Bitcoin at 13,000. Now, if we get additional, I'm bringing this up because if we get, this should get exciting now. Oh, now we definitely want the opportunity to create some value. You see what I'm talking about? And guys, that bottom level to achieve the 250% would be about that 1341. I've chosen that 250%. We can play with the equations, but that was the return, okay, on the correlatives, okay, on the correlative coins that guys were looking at it. They correlate, guys. They just layovers. You guys, it'll actually show you the layover on it. It's not an option, guys, but it does offer a compound return. It's just very nice, not financial advice, but you guys look at that 13,000 figure. Okay, so if we get, just understand this. This is what's important. If we get any pullback, I'm like, please, right? If we get any pullback at all, it's funny to be hoping for a pullback. Why? Because you're not buying technically at 40. We couldn't technically it's not going to be we're buying it, well, maybe an opportunity at 44 or 43 or 42 or 41 if it retraces just even a bit, right? No, it would be the equivalent with the correlatives. Well, maybe we can get another chance to buy back at 20. What? Yeah, exactly, right? It wouldn't have to move a lot for the correlative to kick in. Okay, if we gauge our pricing, our entries correctly, it would be the equivalent of us buying in much lower. Understand that, guys. You just essentially, guys, and I know not everyone knew about it during this time, but during this move of 50%, the correlatives went 250%. Right, so that would be the equivalent of having bought it about 13,000. Everyone was like praying we could buy it at 13,000. That's what the correlatives offer in terms of the current value proposition to you guys. And I would just say that as we look at the opportunity, take it this seriously, please, as we look at the opportunity to potentially, hopefully, get a little bit of value, and we're already in a huge value position, I'll say that, but if the market could be a little nicer to us and let us just, can we retrace just a little bit? I mean, just a little bit to give us a little bit of value. We don't have to change the trend whatsoever, guys. That retracement and consolidation would be a normal part of it. I just want you guys to reframe this, because you'll see Bitcoin drop maybe 500 or 1,000, maybe 1,500 here and there, and you'll say like, well, it's not a big deal. I don't really want to mess with that. On the correlatives, it's a big deal, guys. It's a multiple. It's a compound effect. So just take that into account, how seriously you need to be looking at this market right now. It's a big deal. I want you guys to pay attention to it and understand the dynamics in terms of those correlatives, in terms of the altcoins that we're looking at. Each drop on this, and it starts to get exciting, guys. So I'm just going to congratulate you guys. I did say I would cover Dogecoin, didn't I? I think I did. So let's go ahead and cover Doge, because I did say I would cover Doge, and yeah, I did. So I'm just going to go over Doge real quickly, because hey, we traded the heck out of Doge. We traded the heck out of Matic. We traded the heck out of a lot of coins. A lot of people made a lot of money. Let's just check out Dogecoin real quickly. Let's see how it's going. I met another guy. I met a guy this weekend, or this last week. Has $1 million in Doge. He's a big timer. 83%, guys. 83% in 23 days. That's not bad. I'm going to tell you, that's not bad at all, guys. In 23 days, that's phenomenal. I think it's now outperforming just Bitcoin. But you're going to ask whether or not you'd put a real large amount of money in Dogecoin. I met a guy with $1 million in Doge this week. Literally, that's the truth. You guys know that. I talked about it afterwards, and shout out to him. He's a nice guy, great guy. I can't wait to see him again soon. So we look at that, like 83%, guys. You're currently at just about to bust through that 30 level. In terms of the technicals of it, let's look at the technicals real quickly, kind of see where we're at. We're running into just some real easy cross, I would say that all these intermittent highs, I'm pointing over here, but I'm drawing up to the levels of these intermediary highs here along the way. Guys, these are going to be your resistance line. So as you look at those, just play into those. Doge may not care. Once it gets going, it may not care, guys. That's my hope for you guys, you Doge holders, that you're able to really bust through. And if we look at the extensions, let's look at the extensions to see where you guys are at in terms of what your upside targets may be. I'm going to start this. I'm going to eclipse the prior channel. Again, I'm going to eclipse the prior channel. Because this is an alt, I feel comfortable doing that. And I want to talk about the fact on Doge that using that rationale, you may be up against a line of resistance right now. You may be currently at the 23.6. I'm glad we went through this. You may be at the 23.6, depending upon how, guys, these are formulated in terms of the extensions. This is just on the fly. I believe it to be accurate because we did eclipse that prior channel in line with our regular procedures. Dogecoin, eclipsing this prior channel, starting the extension there, drawing up to about that 74 cent, as I recall, just shy of 75. We'll raise that a little bit, may give us a little bit more room. As I recall the exact time, we were live during it. So loved trading Doge. We had fun. A lot of people made a lot of money and got out at the top. That's what we were focused on. So that gives a little bit more room on the top. That's nice. I like to see that. We might want to draw it down to the candles, which doesn't make too much of a difference. And we'll just say that for the group, for everybody who holds Doge, hey, congrats. I'm never going to hate you guys or anything like that. Well, he's all over Bitcoin. It's not going to happen, guys. We have room for everybody. That's the bottom line. So as we look at this, guys, to move to the upside, just understand we still have, but I think we're still going to indicate at that 23.6% retrace or extension that is potentially going to cause a little bit of a hiccup for Doge. Let's look at that. The 31,000. Wouldn't that be nice? The 31 cents. I'm sorry. I'm used to looking at Bitcoin. 31.39 is the level that I have. I'm going to mark this for you guys just so that you guys know that you may be running into a resistance along that line. of the extension. So you guys can play with that a little bit about the 31.5, about that level. So that might be a natural take for some people. If it powers through, it powers through. Be aware of your holdings in Doge, guys. Ethereum, you want to look at it real quickly? Let's look at Ethereum real quickly. Let's just power through this stuff and get through what's really exciting about Ethereum is, and again, you guys will see this very clearly indicated. I spoke earlier about the fact that on Bitcoin we've turned, we came out of a descending wedge. I want to talk about on Ethereum. I did discuss it really looks like it's close to forming some sort of some sort of a flag formation. It just seems like it's pushing like that. I don't want this to necessarily turn into like a channel formation. I wouldn't anticipate that. The more it gets past anything that would be considered, I'd say the big caveat here is going to be not only the intermediary high, and it's worth talking about this, the high of around 4,000. But we're just going to, yes, we have that as an obstacle right in here. We have this as an obstacle to conquer. We're not far away, guys. We're at 3,225. So it's real reasonable to be talking about 4,000. Okay. What I would want to see out of this, okay, out of this push, we did have a descending wedge, real tightly constricted one that pushed, guys. It picked up quickly, 80% in a short period of time. What I want to see is I need to see it break this degree of a parallel channel here. I just definitely don't want it to frustrate. Along with this, if you guys do your technical analysis and read your materials, these parallel lines like to be a nemesis, guys. So I would play that personally to look for a potential take in and around this area, look for a breakout and kind of a cautionary zone on Ethereum to the point where I am looking at potentially getting beyond this zone. I'm going to mark this as let's just mark this as a blue zone, okay? Not a red zone necessarily, though I won't necessarily go there, all right? So as we look at this, I want to conquer this line here, which is a parallel in line with this bottom formation. This is on the 8-hour. We can do this on the daily, etc. It'll look, I think, a little cleaner on the daily. But I want to get past that, then getting and breaking past this top level formation, the intermediate high, is going to be really significant. Now, I may miss out on, or I probably would trade. To tell you the truth, I would be comfortable trading this zone in here on Ethereum. I would be happy to trade in between this zone to capture probably more than just the sole move between it. Trading, I can probably capture more and execute 3, 4, 5 trades in this area, me personally, and I think a lot of the guys in the group can. But this would be kind of, I'd say, a potential danger zone or a cautionary zone that I would want you guys to watch out for, just because we're looking at kind of a parallel line brought forward. They like to act as a nemesis sometimes, not a complete frustrator, but an intermediary kind of what would you call it, kind of a fake out zone sometimes, guys. So it could act as a resistance. I'd like to get above it. I believe we can. Once that's indicated, I'm happy to trade both the breakout, the confirmation, and up, and be very sophisticated in the terms that we do that in. And then on the top line, as we would express clearly, you guys understand this would be a barrier to get past this previous intermittent high of 4,400 on Ethereum. Absolutely. So I would also be comfortable trading into this resistance, a breakout, and guys, a confirmation to the upside. So 1, 2, probably 3 trades there, 1, 2, 3 trades here, and probably 2 along the zigzags. In the meantime, you guys know we are good at that stuff. We like to do it. We just love trading. So Ethereum has been fantastic. Again, on the correlatives of Ethereum, I just want to bring up the fact that while Ethereum's gone, now it's about 92%. I think the correlatives are over 450, maybe 500% that we're able to take advantage of, that we brought to the VIP, and that we're looking forward to continuing to play out well. We'll keep an eye on those. If those correlations ever break down, we will, and if they ever begin to underperform, I'd say their previous rate of return, we're going to look at that immediately, guys. We're constantly going to be looking at those. It's just nice for us to be able to focus on Ethereum, on Bitcoin. I'll say on Dogecoin too. I hope you guys are having fun with Dogecoin. Everybody has fun. It gets people into the crypto market. We always want people in the crypto market. I don't think the maximalists, guys, we're not maximalists, but I don't think they appreciate the fact that Dogecoin gets people into crypto. It's cool. It's fun. Kids can have fun with it. It's a nice thing. It's a nice dynamic. I think that's a very smart business decision by Elon Musk. What do you guys think? He's like, yeah, dogs, fun, family, friends. Yeah, it's a good deal. So as we look at this, this is in line with the daily chart. The daily does express this a little bit more clearly in terms of the current condition that we're looking at. And this is what I brought up earlier. That 8 hours is a good variable for us to look at beforehand. Guys, on that 8-hour, be aware of what I just brought up to you on the 8-hour, which is a differential from the daily. On the daily, you'll see what's happening right now. This is more exciting, but the context I think is perfect in terms of what we just covered, because we just covered the 8-hour and the potential targets above on the 8-hour time frame. Shout out to Eric. He likes to use that. He's VIP. What's up, Eric? So as we look at this, guys, what you're doing now in Ethereum, I had looked at this earlier on today. I was hoping that this did happen, and I'm just excited that it is in the process of happening. I have a heavy compound position right now in this, like you guys wouldn't believe. You would believe if you know what we're talking about in terms of compounding positions, but in terms of being long on Ethereum right now, not an option, guys. But it's not an option. But we are breaking out of what could be considered on the daily to be a kind of a flaggish formation. We would want to go even further out, potentially to the weekly, to really see the expression of something. Let's see. And it's a little bit more frustrated. I'm trying to clean up the bottom level line, this move up. I'm trying to clean this portion up, the move. That velocity is very important for the completion of a flag. What I'm going to say without that, guys, without that flag formation, what we're going to be looking at is the following. We're going to be looking at, let's see if I can just rewind this, baby, back to the, let's get back to the, what was it, the daily. Let's get back to the daily. There we go. Now, without that, I'm going to give you guys the measured move to the upside. Just in terms of practicum, guys, you can use this on any of your coins and in any of your trading. But as we look at this right here, I drew this hitch, and I liked this formation because we do have parallel channels, guys. That's what's important. We have parallel channels. If we can clean up the top on any time frame, you know, we'd like to see a measured move in line with the move up. Unfortunately, guys, what's going to occur on a move like this most probably is, per technical analysis, we would just measure the height of the channel, and we would hope for and anticipate a move to the degree that it's respected. And I'm going to talk about a defect formation in this area. We would want to see, I mean, ideally, we would want to see a completion of this down, up, down, up. Now, we don't have a great run up in terms of this. It's a little choppy. It got real aggressive here, about as aggressive as it got here. But we would want to see a formation of the channel that's real consistent in this area, both hitting the line of support, resistance, and then move up, a well-designated channel. We still do have that indicated right now, and it was by this hitch right here. I think people were playing the notion of this parallel, kind of somewhat a nemesis sometimes, maybe also viewed as an opportunity, in that this measured move now, essentially, guys, the height of this channel may want to play out to the upside. I'm going to give you a calculation for that. In terms of the expression of that, we're going to look at the calculation up to, let's talk about up to about 5,148. That would be very, very nice to see $5,000 on Ethereum. So just be aware of the different time frames and what they're presenting to you. You can see why, you know, I brought that up earlier in the context of Bitcoin. This descending wedge, correct? Yes, the descending wedge, and the fact that it just seems like it is pushed into, and you guys can see kind of this flat level hitch. It's even, you know, as we look at this, guys, it's even at an angle. You guys can kind of see this seems to be kind of like at an angle. It's being challenged by something. You know, it just seems that fits right in there, doesn't it? You can see that. It's just kind of made for it. So that's that. That's the expression of the technical analysts that are pulling this up and wanting to make, you know, kind of this channel formation out of it, albeit imperfect on the bottom. Guys, there's a lot of variability as you get into larger time frames, et cetera, as you get into more, you know, kind of the macro look. Things, you know, a lot of things can form technically when it doesn't look perfect, okay? So when you read your book, some of the things like that, look, you know, that's one, yeah. When you draw it by hand, it's like you can draw them perfectly. You know what they're supposed to really look like. But sometimes in real life, they're going to have some variability. So we are looking forward to Ethereum performing well. I have a heavy compound position on Ethereum. Looking forward to those compounded gains. So we can go back to Bitcoin, guys, for a bit. Hope you guys are doing well on Doge, on ADA, on Cardano, on everything. I have just really, I have focused so much on these new correlatives in terms of pricing action. I really don't believe, I don't know, guys. I'm just going to say I'm not sure that we really need, you know, yes, we need, I'm going to say yes, maybe we need some diversification. Always, you guys, make your decision on that. Let's talk about a different, you know, a different move here after covering, you guys can see why I covered Ethereum. Absolutely. Now, as we look at a potential push here for Bitcoin, it's going to be a little bit different, guys, because we've already broken through. This wedge really expanded. It was a differently formed wedge that really had to complete itself, whereas, you know, Ethereum had really consolidated in a nice zone. You guys know that, in a nice zone, giving a nice, you know, full, beautiful formation in here. This wedge, you know, is not, I'm going to say, is not the this parallel function that we were looking for on, and this is I guess where things get a little bit difficult to kind of do a comparative. But you understand on Ethereum we had that nice bottom line that wanted to just really express itself on the top, guys. We don't necessarily have that same dynamic going on exactly with Bitcoin. I'm going to tell you guys that. It could be because Ethereum has expressed more power. I was going to tell you that. As a matter of fact, it has expressed more power, right? So I'm happy with that. That's fine. Trading Ethereum is a little bit different than trading Bitcoin. The utility of Ethereum is a little bit different than the utility of Bitcoin and Ethereum are very different. So as we look at that, we're big fans of the space. Anything that can make it a stronger environment, a stronger, what would we say, just a stronger overall industry. We're very much in favor of that. So we're really not seeing the ability of us to turn this into a channel right now, and it just looks like it's going to be frustrated. We may have done that, and I guess I could say this, guys, to the extent that we have this, we could say that that we are breaking out of the problem. Is we're going to just get to, and I keep having to play with this, that means it's just going to be a messy formation here in terms of it. And the issue is why this presents a problem to traders. Understand this on Bitcoin. Why it would present a problem potentially to traders is the following reason. You see how I'm playing with the lines. You see how I'm having to work a little bit. This is on the daily. On the daily, it should be pretty clear, guys, how I'm having to work at the different lines, trying to formulate something that would come up with multiple hits that are consistent along the top and the bottom. Okay, what is that? What is that expressing? Well, that's expressing to us that we have a variability in the channel and that it is somewhat of a wedge formation, and that while it is a bullish pattern, we don't necessarily have an upside target measurable within the function. I'm going to say within the function of a typical channel formation, or at least I'd say a channel formation or a flag formation, we could say, with the move to the upside. But understand this, if we were to have at least a channel, we would have a measured move to go by. We'd have a consistent measurable move that the entirety of the market, as they trade, would say, yes, this is the okay, thank you. This is the measured move that we would experience to the upside. So we're all going to count on that. It gives conformance to the market. So yet again, Bitcoin's going to keep us on our toes, right? It's going to keep us plugged in. We don't mind that. We have caught so many of these Bitcoin spikes. We just love it. We're having fun, are we? Absolutely. Now that we have those special alts in the back, I'm excited about stuff. It's going to be fun. So as we look at this, that's just the difference right now between Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's very interesting because technically they have a different feel to them. They do. Ethereum has kind of it's more of a projected kind of solid framework. A clear channel has, it definitely has formed with some deficits that aren't unlike the deficits here, right? It has that gap, the gap there in the top of that channel formation. So yeah, we can stretch this up. It's not clean. If we want to kind of let this ride, that'd be kind of fine. But I think there's going to be some guesswork in this area. That's okay, guys. I'm still bullish on the market. You guys know that. Always ready to double and triple down. Heavy cash reserves, guys. I've got heavy cash reserves. Always don't find yourself overexposed in Dogecoin, Cardano, or Bitcoin, or Ethereum, and everything's riding on the line, guys. You don't want to bet on one horse, right? No, you're not a one horse kind of guy. Like you want to at least go to the racetrack a little bit more than once, right? Absolutely. We want to have some fun. And the more TA that we apply, guys, the more strategy we apply is not gambling. That's a good thing about it. So we can make the analogy, but you guys understand what brings it home is solid TA. And I'm very excited to continually have you guys in the back. It's been very nice. I want to talk to Daryl. Congratulations. You're doing great chart work, brother. Absolutely phenomenal chart work in the back. You guys plug into Daryl. Honestly, guys, it's some of the best chart work I have seen. And I have looked at a ton of chart work. The guy is a former electrician. He can master these charts. Okay, this pales in comparison to what Daryl can do. Shout out to Daryl, guys, in the back. He's doing very well. Jag is having great weeks. Josh in the house. Nice to see you as well. So let's see. Been practicing all day from the back page. Ouch. You guys are killing it. Hey, what's up, Ryan from Wyoming? Nice to hear that, too. You guys are doing such a great job. Guys, we will plug in. I'm going to say, I always want to do later on tonight. I just want to wish you guys who are having a vacation, happy vacation. Stay bullish. Remember the value zones. We don't talk about it going down anymore. We're talking about a value zone. If we can get more at a lower price, let's do it, right? Absolutely. But you guys have a great rest of your day. I think we're doing pretty well on this week, right? Yeah, we're the green candles. Let's look at these candles real quickly as we kind of sign off here. And this, well, look what decided to kind of pop up here. Well, glad you guys stayed. You're like, well, it kind of starts to look like something we're interested in on the weekly. It would do this to us, huh? The very last thing we pull up. I think I saw this earlier on. I may have been hunting it for a little bit. This doesn't look that bad. You guys understand on a bull flag, if we have to get to the weekly, you guys understand how we draw charts. Hey, everybody's like, all right, we can almost deal with this. Kind of a hitch out of the lower channel here. You guys know how we deal with hitches along a line of support, etc. That may just have, grasp back up into it instead of hitching out of it. Okay, everyone's like, okay, now we got some Bitcoin, power maybe going. So what that would mean is we may have something coming up in this area in terms of something to break out of. Look at how this really expressed itself down in here, and it's interesting. What was this? You guys remember what was that? That was the descending wedge, which we brought up, and I sent it out to everybody. I'm like, we need some work on this. I was like, this is not supposed to fail this pattern in here, right? So we just bust through. We cruised that. So as we look at things, guys, there you go. That's a nice move up too, isn't it? Everybody's like, that's a pretty nice move up, huh? Got to say that on the weekly, huh? Not a bad move up, huh? I don't like that. Let's just measure this real quickly. I'll let you guys go. That would be okay. Ding dong. I'll ring the bell at 96,000. That'd be all right. I'll take that. We're going to do some further refinement on this to make sure we like that. But on the weekly, I'm not disliking that too much. It's on the weekly, so it may take a while to get there. If we can continue to express the trend that we formulated in the beginning, I like that price target. I like that chart too. Someone showed me that on a test question or on a trade. Would you trade this? I need to know a little bit more about it. But yeah, I might. What's the momentum? What's the condition of the market? What's everything else? Yeah, I think I might. So we're about to come in. Look at that true strength indicator as well, guys. That's nice. That true strength indicator is looking good. You guys make sure you use that indicator on gate as a strong, powerful indicator, guys. The true strength indicator. Bam. All I'm gonna tell you is bam. When you learn how to use it, it's gonna be nice. So, guys, that's it for tonight. Go ahead and just go get them, guys. Go knock them dead, and we'll talk to you soon. This is London, and yeah, we will get back to you shortly. Thanks for being a part of the stream. If you haven't watched, make sure you tune in because we had a great show tonight. We covered Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We went through everything.